Chapter 1, Setting Sail into the Cosmos. The starship Elysium hovered like a silver dream against the deep, velvet backdrop of space. Its hull shimmered with the light of distant galaxies, an ethereal glow that seemed to pulse in time with the universe's heartbeat. Inside, Captain Lila Vega stood on the command deck, her eyes wide with wonder as she surveyed the panoramic view offered by the transparent dome overhead. Stars twinkled like scattered diamonds, each one holding secrets waiting to be discovered. Lila was only 14, but she carried herself with the poise of someone who had spent a lifetime among the stars. Her insatiable curiosity burned bright, a flame that had propelled her to this moment, the maiden voyage of Elysium. The ship was an engineering marvel, blending cutting-edge technology with a touch of enchantment that defied explanation. Its corridors whispered with unseen energies, and every surface seemed alive with potential. "Are we ready, Orion?" Lila asked, turning to her best friend and the ship's tech genius. Orion was hunched over a console, fingers dancing across holographic displays that flickered with arcane symbols only he seemed to understand. "Almost there, Captain," Orion replied, his voice steady and reassuring. He adjusted his glasses, a habit when he was deep in concentration. "Just running final checks on the navigation systems. Wouldn't want us to end up on the wrong side of the galaxy." Lila chuckled, the sound echoing softly in the command deck. "I'd expect nothing less from you. Nova, how are we looking?" Nova, the quiet navigator, sat at her station with an air of serene focus. Her eyes were closed, fingers resting lightly on a celestial chart that pulsed faintly under her touch. "The stars are aligned," she said softly, her voice barely more than a whisper. "We're clear for departure." Cassio, the ship's lively storyteller and morale officer, leaned back in his chair with a grin. "Looks like we're ready to write our own legend," he quipped, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "First stop, the unknown." As Elysium prepared to leave Earth's orbit, Lila felt a mix of exhilaration and trepidation. This journey was more than just an exploration of space. It was a quest for answers that lay beyond the stars. She took a deep breath and addressed her crew. "All right, team," she began, her voice carrying the weight of both command and camaraderie. "This is it, the start of something incredible. We're not just explorers, we're seekers of truths that transcend what we know. Let's make history together." Orion gave a thumbs up, Nova nodded silently, and Cassio raised an imaginary toast with an invisible goblet. The bond between them was palpable, forged through shared dreams and countless hours preparing for this moment. With a gentle hum, Elysium powered up its engines and the view outside shifted as they began their ascent to the cosmos. Earth receded into a blue-green marble below them, and soon they were enveloped by the vastness of space. Lila watched as stars streaked past like trails of luminous fireflies. Her heart swelled with a sense of belonging. Here among the stars was where she was meant to be. "Orion," she called over her shoulder, "what's our first destination?" Orion consulted his console, tapping into the ship's vast database of celestial phenomena. "We're heading toward the Veil of Echoes," he announced. "It's a nebula shrouded in mystery. Some say it holds ancient wisdom beyond comprehension." Cassio leaned forward, intrigued. "Sounds like a place ripe for storytelling. I've heard tales of spectral figures and riddles that speak to the heart." "Riddles?" Lila mused aloud, her interest piqued. She loved puzzles, each one a key to unlocking deeper truths. Nova opened her eyes, her gaze distant as if seeing something beyond their current reality. "The veil is special," she murmured. "Time flows differently there, like music played on an otherworldly instrument." As they approached their destination, Lila reflected on her motivations for this journey. She was driven by more than just curiosity. There was an inexplicable connection she felt to the stars, a pull that resonated deep within her soul. "Do you ever wonder," she asked quietly, "why we're drawn to places like this? What is it about the unknown that calls out to us?" Cassio shrugged with a playful grin. "Maybe it's because every story begins with a question, and we're here to find the answers." Orion nodded in agreement. "Or maybe it's because we're all searching for something, whether it's knowledge, adventure, or just understanding our place in the universe." Lila smiled at their responses. Each crew member brought their own perspective and strengths to the table. Together they were more than just individuals. They were a team united by purpose. As Elysium glided closer to the Veil of Echoes, Anticipation crackled in the air like static electricity. The nebula loomed ahead, a swirling vortex of colors that danced and shifted like living watercolors. "Prepare for entry," Lila commanded, her voice steady despite her racing heart. The ship shuddered slightly as it crossed into the nebula's embrace, enveloped by its ethereal beauty. Shadows flickered at the edge of vision, and distant melodies seemed to echo through the halls of Elysium, tugging at heartstrings with haunting familiarity. This is just the beginning, Lila thought to herself as they ventured further into uncharted territory. Whatever mysteries awaited them within this celestial realm would be faced together, with courage and curiosity lighting their path. And so began their journey, a voyage not only through space, but also into realms unseen and stories untold. Here among the stars lay endless possibilities waiting to be explored by those daring enough to dream beyond what was known. In this moment suspended between worlds, between what had been left behind and what lay ahead, Lila Vega stood at the helm of Elysium, ready to embrace whatever came next with open arms. The cosmos stretched out before them like an invitation, a call to adventure echoing through eternity, and Lila knew she wouldn't have it any other way. As they delved deeper into this magical landscape where reality blurred with dreams, a place where ancient myths whispered secrets only those willing could hear, the crew aboard Elysium embarked on their greatest adventure yet, discovering not only what lay beyond stars but also within themselves. And so, with hearts full of hope and minds brimming with questions, they set sail into Cosmos. Chapter 2. Whispers in the Nebula. As the starship Elysium glided deeper into the Veil of Echoes, the boundary between the tangible and the ethereal began to waver. The nebula swirled around them, a kaleidoscope of colors that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. Lila Vega stood at the helm, her heart racing with a mix of anticipation and unease. This was not just another expedition. It was a journey into the unknown, where the laws of reality were mere suggestions. "Orion, what's the status on our sensors?" Lila asked, her voice steady despite the eerie beauty surrounding them. Orion, ever the epitome of calm, glanced up from his console, his fingers dancing over holographic displays. "The sensors are picking up anomalies," he replied, adjusting his glasses. "It's as if they're trying to interpret something beyond their capacity." Cassio leaned forward, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "Anomalies? Sounds like the perfect setting for a new tale," he quipped. "Maybe we'll meet some spectral storytellers. Or maybe we're about to become stories ourselves," Nova added softly, her gaze fixed on the celestial chart before her. Lila couldn't help but smile at their banter. Despite the surreal circumstances, their camaraderie was a beacon of normalcy. Yet beneath her confident facade, doubts lingered. Was she truly ready to lead them through this enigmatic realm? As if sensing her thoughts, a gentle voice echoed through her mind. A whisper carried on the nebula's winds. "Trust yourself, Lila Vega," it murmured. "You are more than you know." Startled, Lila glanced around, half expecting to see someone standing beside her. But there was only Orion, Cassio, and Nova, each absorbed in their tasks. "Did anyone else hear that?" Lila asked tentatively. "Hear what?" Orion replied, raising an eyebrow. "It was like a whisper," she explained, feeling somewhat foolish. "A voice, encouraging me." Nova looked up, her expression thoughtful. "The veil is said to be alive with echoes of ancient wisdom," she mused. "Perhaps it's reaching out to you." Before Lila could respond, the ship shuddered slightly, as if brushing against an unseen current. The air grew thick with anticipation, and shadows flickered at the periphery of their vision. "We're not alone," Cassio observed, his tone surprisingly serious. "I can feel it." Lila nodded, taking a deep breath to steady herself. "Let's proceed carefully," she instructed. "Keep your minds open and your hearts steady." As they ventured further into the nebula's embrace, strange phenomena began to manifest around them. Spectral figures appeared in the corridors, ephemeral shapes that seemed to glide effortlessly through walls and floors. They were translucent and shimmering, like reflections on water. One such figure paused before Lila, its form shifting between human and something more celestial. It spoke in riddles, its voice melodic yet haunting. "What is seen but never heard? What is felt but never touched?" it asked cryptically. Lila pondered the riddle, her mind racing through possibilities. Before she could answer, Cassio chimed in with a grin. "A dream," he suggested. It's like a story that plays out in your mind. The figure inclined its head as if acknowledging his insight before dissolving into stardust. Well done, Lila praised him, her confidence bolstered by their success. Let's keep moving. As they continued their exploration, more apparitions appeared, each offering riddles that seemed to probe their very essence. The crew debated the nature of these entities and their connection to the veil. Do you think they're ghosts? Orion asked, fascinated by their encounters. Or perhaps echoes of those who once passed through here, Nova suggested, her voice barely more than a whisper. Cassio shrugged playfully. Maybe they're just bored spirits looking for an audience, he joked. Lila listened to their theories with interest, but found her thoughts drifting back to the whisper she'd heard earlier. Was it possible that these figures were guiding them? Testing them? It was then that Alara Voss made her presence known, a guiding spirit whose form shimmered into existence before Lila's eyes. Her appearance was both familiar and otherworldly. She exuded an aura of wisdom and mystery. Who are you? Lila asked cautiously, feeling an inexplicable pull toward this enigmatic being. I am Alara, she replied with a serene smile, a keeper of ancient knowledge and a guide for those who seek truth beyond the stars. Lila felt a surge of hope mingled with uncertainty. Why have you come to us? Alara's gaze was steady and kind. To help you embrace your potential, she explained, and to challenge you to look beyond what is seen, to understand what truly lies within. Her words resonated with Lila on a profound level. They mirrored her own inner struggle between doubt and determination. How do we know if we're ready? Lila asked quietly. Alara's smile widened ever so slightly. By trusting in yourselves and each other, she answered simply. The path ahead is not without challenges, but together you will find strength where you least expect it. With those parting words echoing in their minds like a melody half-remembered from childhood dreams, Alara faded into mist, leaving behind only questions and possibilities as vast as space itself. The crew stood silently for several moments, each lost in thought about what lay ahead, and then Cassio broke the silence with characteristic optimism. Looks like we've got our work cut out for us. Orion nodded thoughtfully while Nova offered one of her rare smiles, a gentle affirmation that spoke volumes without need for words. Together they pressed onward through this realm where reality danced with illusion, where whispers carried wisdom across eons, and where every step brought them closer not only to unraveling cosmic mysteries, but also discovering truths within themselves they never knew existed. As they navigated deeper into uncharted territory filled with wonderment beyond measure, guided by voices ancient yet familiar, the crew aboard Elysium learned that courage wasn't merely facing unknowns alone, but rather embracing them together, united by purpose, strengthened by friendship, illuminated by dreams shared among stars. And so, with hearts full of hope, minds open wide, spirits undaunted, they ventured forth, seeking answers hidden amidst echoes long forgotten, writing new chapters upon celestial pages, waiting patiently for those daring enough to dream beyond what had been known before. In this place where past met present, amid whispers echoing softly against eternity's expanse, their journey continued ever onward toward destiny unknown yet eagerly anticipated. Chapter 3, Constellations of the Heart. The Elysium floated gently within the veil of echoes, its silver hull a serene silhouette against the swirling nebula. Inside, the crew gathered in the observation lounge, the transparent walls displaying a cosmic ballet of colors that shifted and danced like ethereal waltzers. The air was thick with an unspoken anticipation, each member of the crew grappling with their own thoughts and feelings. Lila Vega sat at the center of it all, her eyes fixed on the celestial wonder beyond. Her mind was a whirlpool of emotions, curiosity, doubt, hope, all interwoven like the threads of a tapestry. She could feel the weight of her responsibilities as captain pressing down on her shoulders, yet there was a spark of determination within her heart that refused to be extinguished. "What's on your mind, Captain?" Cassio asked, breaking the silence with his usual warmth. His voice was light, but his eyes held a depth of understanding that made Lila grateful for his presence. "Just thinking about everything," Lila admitted, offering him a small smile. "The veil, these echoes. Alara." Cassio leaned back in his chair, nodding thoughtfully. "It's a lot to take in, but you know what I think? I think we're exactly where we need to be." Lila chuckled softly. You always know how to put things into perspective. That's my job, Cassio grinned. To remind us all that every great story has its twists and turns. Orion joined them, adjusting his glasses as he did whenever deep in thought. I've been analyzing the data from our encounters, he said. There's definitely something unique about this nebula. It's almost as if it's alive. Alive? Nova's voice was barely more than a whisper, yet it carried across the room with surprising clarity. She had been quietly observing the stars, her fingers tracing invisible patterns in the air. Yes, Orion confirmed. The energy signatures we're picking up, they're unlike anything we've seen before. It's as if the veil is responding to us. Lila nodded, absorbing his words. There was something almost comforting about the idea that they were not alone, that the universe itself was aware of their presence. What about you, Nova? She asked gently. You've been quiet. Nova turned her gaze from the stars to meet Lila's eyes. There was an intensity there, a connection that ran deeper than words. The stars, they speak to me, she confessed softly. I feel them in my bones, like a song I've always known but never heard. Cassio's eyes widened with intrigue. A song? That's beautiful. Nova smiled shyly, her cheeks tinged with a hint of color. It's hard to explain. It's like they're guiding us, showing us where we need to go. Lila felt a surge of admiration for her navigator. Nova's quiet strength was a beacon in its own right, illuminating paths unseen and offering guidance when they needed it most. Maybe that's why we're here, Lila mused aloud. To listen, to understand what the stars are trying to tell us. As if in response to her words, a gentle ripple passed through the ship, a reminder of the veil's ever-present embrace. The spectral figures that had appeared earlier seemed to linger at the edges of their vision, their forms flickering like candle flames in a breeze. It was then that Alara Voss reappeared, her presence both calming and invigorating. She hovered near Lila, her form shimmering with an iridescent glow. Welcome back, Lila greeted her with genuine warmth. We've been trying to make sense of all this. Alara's smile was serene, her eyes holding secrets as ancient as time itself. You are learning to see beyond what is visible, she said softly, to listen to the echoes of your own hearts. Lila nodded, feeling a sense of validation in Alara's words. But why us? Why now? Alara's gaze swept over the crew, her expression one of gentle wisdom. Each of you carries within you a piece of the puzzle, a key to unlocking truths long forgotten. Your journey here is no accident. It is destiny woven by threads unseen. Orion leaned forward, curiosity lighting up his features. What kind of truths? The truths of who you are, Alara replied enigmatically, of your connection to each other and to the cosmos itself. Cassio's eyes sparkled with interest. Sounds like an epic tale waiting to be told. It is, Alara agreed. And you are its authors. As Alara spoke, Lila felt a shift within herself, a subtle realignment of doubts and dreams. She realized that leadership wasn't about having all the answers. It was about guiding others to find their own. I think I understand, Lila said slowly, her voice filled with newfound resolve. We need to trust ourselves and each other. Alara nodded approvingly. Trust is the foundation upon which all great journeys are built. With those parting words echoing in their minds, Alara faded once more into stardust, leaving behind only the lingering sense of possibility. The crew sat together in contemplative silence, each lost in their thoughts, yet united by a shared purpose. Finally, Nova broke the quiet with a gentle suggestion. Perhaps we should explore further, see what else this nebula has to offer. Lila met her gaze and nodded decisively. Let's do it, together. And so they set forth once more into the unknown, guided by whispers ancient and new, buoyed by courage born not from certainty, but from faith in themselves and each other. In this realm where reality intertwined with dreams, where constellations sang songs only those willing could hear, the crew aboard Elysium embarked on their next adventure, seeking answers hidden amidst echoes long forgotten, writing new chapters upon celestial pages, waiting patiently for those daring enough to dream beyond what had been known before. In this place where past met present amid whispers echoing softly against eternity's expanse, their journey continued ever onward toward destiny, unknown yet eagerly anticipated. Chapter 4, Echoes of Destiny. The starship Elysium drifted deeper into the heart of the Veil of Echoes, its sleek form a solitary silhouette against the swirling nebula. The colors outside were a symphony of violets and blues, their patterns shifting like a dreamscape woven by an unseen hand. Inside, the crew gathered in the command deck, each member acutely aware of the gravity of their mission. Captain Lila Vega stood at the helm, her gaze fixed on the mesmerizing vista beyond. She felt a profound connection to the stars, as if they held secrets waiting for her to uncover. Yet beneath her determined exterior, doubts lingered, doubts about her ability to lead and the path that lay ahead. "Orion, any updates on our trajectory?" Lila asked, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. Orion, ever the tech genius, adjusted his glasses with practiced ease. "We're right on course, Captain," he replied, his fingers dancing over holographic displays that flickered with ethereal light. "The veil's energy patterns are stabilizing around us. It's almost as if it's guiding us." Cassio leaned back in his chair, his eyes alight with curiosity. "Guiding us? Sounds like we're part of a cosmic story," he mused, weaving his words with an air of mystery. Nova, the quiet navigator, nodded in agreement. Her connection to the stars seemed to deepen with every passing moment. "I feel it too," she said softly. "It's like the universe is speaking to us, urging us to listen." Lila took a deep breath, allowing their words to bolster her resolve. She was not alone in this journey. Her crew was with her every step of the way. Together they would face whatever challenges awaited them within this enigmatic realm. As if responding to their collective determination, a familiar presence manifested before them. Alara Voss, the guiding spirit whose wisdom transcended time and space. Her form shimmered with an iridescent glow, her eyes holding the depth of galaxies. "Welcome back, Alara," Lila greeted her with a genuine smile. "We've been trying to decipher the riddles left by the echoes." Alara's smile was serene and knowing. "You are closer than you realize," she replied gently. "The answers you seek lie within yourselves." Cassio leaned forward, intrigued by her words. "Within ourselves? How do we find them?" Alara's gaze swept over the crew, her expression one of gentle encouragement. "By embracing who you are and trusting in each other," she explained. "The veil is not just a place, it is a reflection of your own hearts and minds." Lila nodded thoughtfully, Alara's words resonating deeply within her. She realized that their journey was not just about uncovering cosmic mysteries, it was also about understanding themselves and their connection to one another. "Thank you, Alara," Lila said sincerely. "We'll do our best." With a nod of approval, Alara began to fade into stardust once more, leaving behind only the lingering sense of possibility. As they continued their voyage through the veil, spectral figures appeared around them, each offering riddles that seemed to probe their very essence. The crew worked together to solve these puzzles, drawing upon their unique strengths and perspectives. One such riddle appeared before Orion, its voice melodic yet haunting. "What is invisible but makes you feel seen? What is silent but speaks volumes?" Orion pondered the question, his mind racing through possibilities. Before he could answer, Nova chimed in with quiet confidence. "Friendship," she suggested. "It connects us even when words are unspoken." The figure inclined its head in acknowledgement before dissolving into light. "Well done," Lila praised them, her confidence bolstered by their success. "Let's keep moving." As they navigated deeper into the nebula's embrace, more apparitions appeared, each offering clues that unraveled a tapestry of celestial lore entwined with their own personal histories. Cassio shared tales of ancient myths that mirrored their journey, stories of gods who guided mortals through trials and tribulations toward enlightenment. "These myths remind us that we're part of something greater," Cassio reflected aloud. "Our actions ripple across time and space." Lila listened intently to his stories, finding comfort in the idea that they were not alone in their quest for understanding. It was then that Nova revealed her mysterious connection to the stars, a bond that had always been present but never fully understood until now. "I can hear them," she confessed softly. "Their songs resonate within me like an echo from another lifetime." Lila felt a surge of admiration for her navigator's quiet strength, a beacon illuminating paths unseen and offering guidance when they needed it most. "Perhaps that's why we're here," Lila mused aloud. "To listen, to understand what the stars are trying to tell us." As if in response to her words, a gentle ripple passed through the ship, a reminder of the veil's ever-present embrace. The crew stood together in contemplative silence, each lost in thought yet united by a shared purpose. Finally, breaking the quiet with characteristic optimism, "Looks like we've got our work cut out for us," Cassio declared cheerfully. Orion nodded thoughtfully while Nova offered one of her rare smiles, a gentle affirmation that spoke volumes without need for words. Together they pressed onward through this realm where reality danced with illusion, where whispers carried wisdom across eons, and where every step brought them closer not only to unraveling cosmic mysteries, but also discovering truths within themselves they never knew existed. In this place where past met present amid whispers echoing softly against eternity's expanse, their journey continued ever onward toward destiny unknown yet eagerly anticipated. And so, with hearts full of hope, minds open wide, spirits undaunted, they ventured forth, seeking answers hidden amidst echoes long forgotten, writing new chapters upon celestial pages, waiting patiently for those daring enough to dream beyond what had been known before. As they journeyed through this mesmerizing landscape filled with wonderment beyond measure, guided by voices ancient yet familiar, the crew aboard Elysium learned that courage wasn't merely facing unknowns alone, but rather embracing them together, united by purpose, strengthened by friendship, illuminated by dreams shared among stars.